This MMA 30 segment is powered by The Gun Store. Next time you're in Las Vegas, if you want to shoot a real machine gun, do it at The Gun Store at 2900 East Tropicana. Former UFC Octagon girl Natasha Wicks headed to Iraq with the UFC to support the troops. Here Natasha tells MMA 30 about her experience.
The trip to Iraq started off with Amber Nicole, Mike Swick, and Kyle Kingsbury and I all went as representation of the UFC. Yeah, it was just basically going out there and just supporting our troops and showing them how much we appreciate what they do, take their minds off of the whole situation of being out there, and just bring some fun and something new to their lives for a little while. I'd have to say the scariest part about going over there and being there was the fact that there was still a war, and there is still a war going on. But I never once felt unsafe. So the people that were taking care of us, that were driving us around and flying us, they were all, very professional, very on top of things. If they felt like there was a risk, which we had maybe 2 days where we were grounded at one point. And then there was a time we were staying in the palace. That actually is a huge target. The terrorists are really trying to blow that place up because we've got a lot of big people that stay there. And so that was a little bit like, oh nice, let's stay in this nice safe zone, knowing it's a huge bullseye, a huge target. One of the most fun days that we had out there was when we got to blow things up. We blew up a door, we blew up a tire, and then we each got to make a bomb. We lined it up on this big dirt mound, and then we all ran over and stood up, lined up in front of it, and he had a timer where we were all smiling, so we weren't gonna see it. Just that anticipation of oh my gosh, we have this huge bomb about to blow up behind us. But then when it went off, it was the heat, the warmth that you feel was so intense, and it was so loud, you couldn't help but kind of scream oh my gosh. What I bring back from a trip like that would be just that feeling of pride for my country and for what we do. And so I don't come back thinking oh, I'm this great person that went and, gave time and hung out and smiled and signed autographs. If anything, I was honored that they wanted my autograph, but what I brought back was just, I feel more knowledge about what it's like over there. You just see in the news and in pictures, but once you're over there and you actually see the people and talk to them, you feel like you're in, you know what they know. And I definitely know more.
For Natasha, her trip overseas was an experience of a lifetime helping the U.S. troops, but she's also very charitable when she's back in the States.
Going overseas, I think, is a huge way of showing, support, showing love and all that kind of stuff. Locally in your own communities, I think it's just as important. We have a local one in Vegas called IAC, and it ain't chemo, and we deal mostly with children, some adults who are battling cancer. We're very involved and visit them, find out what their passions are, what they like, and try to make it happen as best we can. In my opinion, the MMA community is definitely misunderstood in a lot of ways as being just a bunch of dudes fighting and, let's make a bloody mess, but it's way more than that, and they're awesome guys. They're more than willing to give the shirt off their back, and I think every single MMA guy that I know is involved in charities. I don't think I've met one that hasn't been involved in some way. People always ask me how I can be involved in charities where people die and are very sick, and that it's really, really sad, they couldn't handle it. And my answer is always the same. It's just, if I'm putting a smile on their face for a little while, then that's totally worth it. Who cares if I get sad? They were happy for a time, so it's definitely worth it.